welcome to the Ignite, the Next Generation Empower Summit. I'm so excited you're here, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of all of the speakers and our fabulous hosts, Tammy, Jeff, and James. Thank you so much for being here with us. We want to pour into you because you pour so much out into others. So it is a pleasure of mine to be able to be here and serve all of you. I hope that with our time here together, you'll take away some tangible tools that you can use immediately, that you will ignite your own power to be able to really empower those around you. As you can see, my mission is to ignite the unique power of people and teams. My name is Petra Krebbs. I am a speaker and trainer for best-selling author John Gordon, and I'm also a certified strengths coach for Gallup. And Gallup, you may know through the Gallup poll. So Gallup does a lot of surveys, but Gallup also has an assessment called Clifton Strengths, which has changed my life, impacts the work that I do as an executive coach and as a people and team developer. Many know me as the strengths strategist. So let's dig in and ignite the unique power of you. What does unique mean anyway? Right? We all know that we have a unique fingerprint and footprint. But do you know how that unique fingerprint and footprint is formed? It is so unique that forensic scientists even say no two are alike, not even identical twins. Well, I researched this a lot when I started igniting the unique power within people, because I believe there's a correlation between our fingerprint and the imprint we'll leave in this world. So fingerprint is formed by its environment and the movement in that environment. So in our mother's womb, the liquid and the DNA and the way we move in the womb actually creates the ridges on our fingers and our toes. I believe the unique way that we move in the environment leaves an imprint on the world that we live in for such a time as this. I believe no person is here by accident. I believe everyone has a unique given design, but many of us don't know what it is. Many of us think, well, everybody does what I do. Or, wow, maybe this is weird. I shouldn't tell anyone. Or I shouldn't be so much or so little. I want to ask you, as a coach, as a parent, as an educator, as somebody who really impacts this next generation, what makes you unique? What's your unique attribute with the people you impact and lead? How do you lead those around you? You have something very special, a unique fingerprint, a unique imprint on this world, and many of us are not quite sure or are not aware, especially the youth that we impact. So many spend energy trying to blend in when we were actually created to stand out. So I want to talk to you about the freedom of knowing your strengths. When we are free to be who we were created to be, that is empowerment. Here's a quote I came up with a while back, just from my own experience. Self-awareness is freedom. When you know who you are and you know who you're not, you're empowered. The unique thing, the quirk, the thing that stands out about you, it actually becomes your strength when you lean in to get to know it more. But can I tell you something that's been the most empowering about my self-awareness journey? All the way from when I was a young girl, I'm a first-generation immigrant. English is my second language, and I was always trying to blend in. But the unique thing about becoming more self-aware and owning your unique strengths is you become other aware. So by doing the work on you first, it trickles over and your appreciation for other strengths and talents unlocks, and the relationships grow and build. So this is a quote by Don Clifton, who is the father of the Clifton Strengths Development. He invented the assessment, and there's a few of them that I'll share with you as a tool today. But he started this in 1999, and developed this assessment that has really helped to unlock talents within people and strengths. And so this is one of my favorite quotes. I want you to think about this too, because it's part of encouraging others to empower them. What will happen when we think about what is right with people rather than fixating on what is wrong with them? When we're looking for the strength instead of focusing on the weakness. What happens when we look at what is right with people instead of what is wrong with them? So I call strengths superpowers. I had a client, my very first coaching client, say, gosh, it's like you unlocked a superpower I didn't know I had. You can do the same for the youth and the children that you impact, or the coworkers, the people in your family. My whole family speaks the strengths language now, and it has changed all of our lives. But what happens is there's also a superpower called hiding, right? It's Invisible Girl. She's the superhero that has that superpower. So many of our youth and many of us still, frankly, hide our talents. There's the superpower of blending, right? Blending in that I talked about. So many of us still look at what the person on the left or what the person on the right is doing that maybe we should be doing, and how could we blend in more or do what others are doing. And that is the superhero, the shapeshifter, right? We blend, we morph into what we think we're supposed to be. There's also that superhero that implodes on himself. It's when our strengths are in overdrive. It's when we're doing too much of the thing and we're not in health, right? So it's like when Mr. Freeze actually freezes himself because there's stress and unhealth. So strengths and superpowers need to be managed. And my mission, and I hope yours too, is to ignite superpowers. And that superhero is you. So no hiding, no blending, no overdrive, just igniting the unique power of you. And there's another quote by Don Clifton I love, and he says, people are not made by cookie cutters. We're all different. So that the way that we engineer or teach or coach or impact or influence others has to be unique to their talent. So as a former educator, I was a high school teacher, and as a former educator, I followed the VAC method, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, right? Those are the 3 types of learning. Now, I really lean into strengths of teams and clients and teach them to do the same, to lean into their strengths. And so when you lean into your strengths and what you're really good at versus focusing on what's wrong with you, there's some data here for you from Gallup. And I've seen it to be true in organizations and people that I coach. When people lean in and into their strengths and align their life, they are 6 times more likely to be engaged in their job. For students, it's in their schoolwork or their team, right? They're happier. They're 6 times more likely to agree that they actually get to do what they do best every day. And my favorite is the last piece of data there is you are 3 times more likely to have a better quality of life because you're in alignment with who you were designed to be. I call that the green energy. It's that life-giving energy that we all need more of. So that's some data there for you, and I hope you enjoy that. And I want to ask you, who can, right? Who cannot use a 3 times upgrade for the quality of life? Are there any students you know like this? Is it your own life? Who would like to see some of these results that you influence and empower? Well, here are some tools for you. Clifton Strengths was designed to identify 34 talents. I highly recommend you as the leader, as the influencer, to take the full 34 report. You can go to gallup.com and I'll offer some links for you as well where you can gather this information. But what's so great about this assessment is many of us don't know our strengths, our talents, our uniqueness. We haven't lived to that full potential to even identify it or have words or language around it. So this is a way to identify it. And Gallup says you are 1 in 33 million. So the order of your talents on your report actually determine your unique design, like that fingerprint we talked about earlier. 1 in 33 million have the same order of the report. So you and I could share the same top strengths, but they would show up differently And here are mine: positivity, strategic, learner, input, and includer. And once I unlocked these superpowers through the Gallup assessment, I can tell you everything started to begin making sense for me. And I was wishing I had an opportunity as a younger self to be able to be more aware of what my unique design and imprint on this world actually could look like. So you can start with a student report. You can go ahead and start with a student report that lets your students know the top 5. I'll post a link of that. Students gain more confidence. They become more engaged. They become more empowered. School is more than just academics and sports. We are trying to empower people who have a positive impact on this world, who are confident and know who they are and know what they contribute, but also know who others are and can recognize gifts and the people and the teams they engage with. You can also start with the Clifton Strengths Explorer. This is for younger ages, and it allows you to have the top 3. It allows them to really start leaning into their natural tendencies, and it gives them a language and a hope for the future of what they're good at. But do you have to take an assessment to recognize strengths or superpowers? No. You can start strength scouting today just with these 3 questions. Do this for yourself, do this for your team, do this for your family, do this for the youth that you influence. Choose one, ask them to choose one item that represents who they are and explain why, and start looking for strengths. Number 2, ask them to describe a recent experience of when they felt like they were operating at their best. They were in alignment, they were in the flow. It's what I call that green energy, right? Life-giving. Ask them to describe a time. And then what are some activities that are draining for you or for them? What's the red energy? Where do you feel like you are disaligned, unaligned? You are not receiving that life-giving energy. I want to challenge you after this video. Take a snapshot of these questions. I'll also post them in our group, but I want to challenge you to do this for yourself, and then go and do this with your family, your teams, your students. Become a strengths spotlighter. Spotlight the strengths of the people you influence. Start looking, whether it's the Gallup language you use or another unique design that you can see in students and others. Start spotlighting it, maybe weekly, maybe monthly. Start really shining a light on people's strengths that you influence. And another quote that I'll leave you with is, relationships help us to define who we are and what we can become. Most of us can trace our success back to those pivotal relationships. What you see behind me is a team grid. So when I work with teams, we put all of the different talents together on a grid and see how we truly are more powerful together, because our differences are our advantages. And so I'll leave you with one last quote from my heart to yours. Shift your focus from what is wrong to what is strong. That is empowerment for you first, then for others that you influence. Empower them and continue to impact with the great, unique design that is you. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I'll see you in the group. We'll chat. You can find me at petrakrebbs.com. If or should you or your team take the assessment, please reach out. I love talking strengths. I love talking about the unique power of you. See you soon. Bye-bye.